there! Welcome and welcome back to the Whole Bucket and another Friday freebie feature. Today's Friday freebie is from Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. It's kind of awesome and fabulous. And, you're not supposed to say It's huge. So I have mentioned before that you can find seriously huge freebies on the internet. And here is one of them. I'm going to do a quick showing. There. And we're going to go through, these are pages, right? And papers. Still. Yep. Come on. I can do it. There we go. And there we go. And is there one more? Nope, that's it. Okay, pages and papers. Then there are some 2x4s. So this one is with a coffee overlay, obviously. This one is with no coffee overlay. And small versions of a few of the papers. So design on a smaller scale is handy as heck. And I've done some pre-cutting. I'm going to pause and do some more pre-cutting. But here is the bits and bobs. Cards and tags and pockets, and you know, you decide what to do with it on your own. There is one page I printed twice, this here, and if it has other pieces too. Here has the kitty, and this is a duplicate. I did this for a reason. We will be talking about the reason I did this while we're making this project. And what we're gonna do is, since this is so big, I am going to use this freebie with only a few extra things, because honestly, this is enough stuff. We're going to make a whole journal. So we might not get done with like little detail bits, because there's a lot of work that goes into making a journal, right? But I am going to get this stuff cut out. And then I'm going to come on back and we're going to work as quickly as possible to show some of the basic steps in pulling together the cover and the signatures, and show that there are freebies out there big enough to make a whole journal. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. Okay, so things are all cut out and pushed over to the side over there. I even saved most of the scraps because they are printed on at least one side. Most of this is just one-sided, but they might come in handy. I don't know. First thing we're going to do is build the start of a cover. I have a couple of pieces of chipboard cut out to what size I want, and I am just going to take this chipboard and my trusty gigantic glue stick that is apparently glued shut. There we go. And get this tacked in place. This particular piece doesn't matter very much if it's the strongest glue, because there are lots more layers of stuff that will happen to this, and those layers are what will really matter in holding this book together. So I'm going to center this on the piece of paper, just kind of eyeball, right? Not going to worry about if I get things exact. We're going to say close enough is close enough. Then I'm going to crease the corner, or crease the edges just like this. I'm just going to take the cardstock, hold onto it, and fold it over. I can see that it is, oh my gosh, not too shabby really, a tiny bit off kilter. The tiniest bit. I can also see where I failed to glue. Every single fold that I've done so far has this little ridge where it buckles a little bit. And I really didn't want that, but it's not the end of the world either. All right, there we go. There's one. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other one. I think I'll pay a little bit more attention to these edges right here because I didn't like the bubbles. They really didn't affect anything, but I didn't like them anyway. So I'm going to try to unbubble. I'm going to try to unbubble. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Same thing. Fold all of these lines down. Okay, now the next step. Super easy peasy. Trimming. Super easy peasy trimming. So I'm going to start, let me draw the line in. I think they're a little hard to see. All right. That's enough for a demonstration. The rest I will do without drawing the lines in. So, lines have width. Even though they're really skinny, the folds have width. So I'm going to start just to the side of that line, and I'm going to cut right down to the opposite side of the line dot, the intersection right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Cut right down to the inside of that intersection. So I'm close to, but not right up against the corner of the cardstock. The reason for that is we don't want cardstock showing through. I'll show you something though. If I take this piece of paper and, you know, open glue bottle will help. If I put some glue right here and take this piece of paper I just cut off and squish it way up against the corner so it is exactly flush with the edges of the cardstock, even if I cut a little wonky and a little of the cardstock wants to show through, it will be covered. You won't even notice it. There's a little helpful tip. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with all of the other 7 corners. Just like that and like that. Just like that. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here we go. Let's glue down the rest of these corners because they're handy dandy. off screen. I should be all the way on screen, not half and half. Only show you half of what I'm doing. So if you're actually watching and learning something, learning anything newish, you have to guess. That's probably not the best way to show anything. Okay. Also, if you're not learning something new and you have other ideas, better ideas, other options for this sort of thing, feel free to leave a comment. I sure love to learn new stuff. And there might be something that you know that I have not tried yet. I do watch a lot of other channels for inspiration and ideas and what have you, right? But I don't think there's ever an end to how much you can learn or be inspired by. To be honest, I don't think there's an end. Okay. 2 more of these, then we're going to move on to the next part. Remember, this is going to be try to be a super fast, how do you put a journal together thing. I don't know if I'm going to pull off the super fast. If you have watched anything on my channel, I don't usually do super fast. If I do fast at all. But I usually do train of consciousness thoughts. Flow of consciousness thoughts. I mean videos. Whatever. Stream of consciousness videos where I'm just going along, doing my thing, no editing, no nothing. All the thoughts that go through the creative process. I don't think mine's any different than any other artist. I seem to have the same blocks and the same stops and starts. I think the only thing that's different is maybe how we get through blocks, and definitely what we end up with is unique, right? Because all artists are unique. So I don't mind showing that, yeah, you get stuck, and that's really okay. You just work your way through it somehow. Gosh, that's a lot of dried glue on the cover. No wonder I couldn't get the cover off. All right. Let's get some of this on here. Again, this particular spot doesn't really matter if it's how strong it's going to be, because there's other layers that are going to hold this in place. Why did I use the liquid here? First of all, because it's going onto cardstock, so some of the glue will soak in. And I don't want those little pieces in there shifting. I have them there to cover up any mistakes that I've made in my cutting. And if they shift away from where they are, because the cardboard sucked up part of the glue, and they're not stable enough, well then they're not going to do me any good. On the other hand, these flaps are going to get held down by at least 2 more layers of stuff. And once these are down, they can't really shift much. And at least these edges have some paper on paper connection. So even though this part might soak into the cardstock a little bit, it won't matter. There we go. We have a piece of a journal cover. Woohoo! And the other one, same thing. Now I always do my top and bottom first, and then the sides of my covers. I don't know why. I don't know that it matters too much. It does change the look a little bit. But I don't think I've ever tried it the other way, so I don't know that this is actually a preference or it's just sort of automatic for me. It might have started out just automatic, like I didn't pay any attention. I just did it. And now that I've done it for so long, I'm afraid to do it the other way. Which sounds ridiculous, but also sounds like something I would do. All right, we have ourselves 2 pieces of book cover. Next thing we're going to do is join these 2 pieces together on this fabric right here. So this is going to be some support for the spine. And the first thing we got to put down is the spine. So part of the problems I have with using decent glues on fabric is that they change the color of the fabric. Now I know there's plenty of glues that you can get that don't necessarily do that. I have found that even the ones that claim not to do that still do to some degree. So I don't think there's a perfect solution, but this is the most important part I've found. Whatever glue you use on a fabric or a lace or a transparent paper even, in order to cause as little glue marking, whether it just be the lines of the glue showing through the paper or the color changing of the fabric that I previously mentioned, spread your glue out. Get it really even and words. Get it as even as you can. Get a nice thin even layer. That's what I'm trying to say. That nice thin even layer is going to make it so that no matter what happens, you have done the best that you can expect to do. I got that lopsided. There we go. I think that's fairly decent, fairly straight. If you use a ruler or a straight edge or something to hold this parallel to the edges of the fabric, you're going to do better than just eyeballing it. I'm trying not to overstress details, right? This is actually kind of an important detail. Maybe I should have stressed it a little more, but I didn't. All right, next thing we're going to do, decide which one of these, and I don't think it's going to matter, is going to be the front cover. They should be fairly identical because I did use the same piece of paper and I didn't measure, but I got really quite close in how these are lined up. Good job, girl. I think I want it to go this way. And I think we'll just go like this. There we got the top and bottom. I mean front and back. We got the top and bottom and front and back. And then this is going to be glued right here. One of the things I do to try to get a nice open and closable book is take a piece of cardstock that matches the cardstock I'm using and put it between the spine and the cover piece and glue like that. Nice straight line between them. Another thing that you can do, let's see, where are they? Right here. Is take something completely different, giant popsicle sticks, for instance, and put that in the place. You want something that is roughly the same thickness as the card stock that's being used, but it doesn't have to be exact. In fact, almost nothing in journal making, or at least this kind of journal making, needs to be exact. If you are a person who wants exact, more power to you. And I'm a little jealous because I can't pull that off. And I love precision in my books. I'm just not a precision artist, to be perfectly honest. I just can't consistently pull it off, so I don't bother trying. How's that for lazy bum? Nah, just kidding. Nah, just kidding. We all have our own styles, right? And there is value in every style. There's value in every style. How am I going to spread this out? Ugh. I'm going to stick my fingers back in it, I guess. I'm going to be very gluey today. Alright, so same concept here, right? In case it's going to change the color, and it probably is. Now it's going to be nice and evenly changed. I'll stick that popsicle stick back in place to make sure that my spacing is nice and even. Push this up against the popsicle stick, make sure the top and bottom match, and then lay it down. Lay it down. Lay it down. There we go. And it doesn't look nice and straight at all. That does not look very straight at all. It is though. Okay. Look, it looks way wider up here than it does up here. Oh well, looks can be deceiving, I guess. Because I put the popsicle stick back in and it fits. Whatever. Alright. Oh. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Okay. We almost have a journal cover. Almost. There we go. Nice even layer. That went well, actually. I'm a little surprised. I usually don't have the patience to do stuff like that. I usually just leave it and it gets all gloppy and makes a big fat mess, and then I am unhappy with my own product and my own decisions. Oh, it's just silliness, I tell you. Okay, next. I'm going to let that sit for just a second. It doesn't have to sit very long. So while it's sitting, I'm going to do a little measure. So first of all, this is quite a bit longer than I need it to be. So I'm just going to grab a scissor and cut it right across here-ish. So I'm just choosing any old mark somewhere toward the bottom of the page. And I'm going to put this to the side and save it because hopefully we'll use it somewhere else in the journal. And then we're going to glue this down. I am going to use this. I'm going to use the this glue stick and the liquid glue this time. This is going to be all nice and even. And it's going to tack things in place, at least for a while, if not forever and ever. Maybe forever and ever. I don't know. I haven't been around long enough to test that. Alright, there we go. And liquid glue so that I have some placement time and some wiggle room. So I'm just going to go in kind of the perimeter. Okay, not kind of the perimeter. I'm going to go in absolutely the perimeter. And then I'm going to go down the creases, because I want these creases to be really strongly glued once this dries. All right. Nice and smooth. Start at the top. Make sure I don't get any bubbles. Bubbles are unsightly. And then we're going to trim this just a little above where they cross. So it looks like about here will do. Let me get this nice and straight. This part doesn't matter very much. For the most part, this overlapping bit is going to be covered by other stuff. Gosh darn me. Okay. Yeah, so okay, this is mostly going to be covered by other parts of journal. Whoops, I'm so sorry. Yikes, man. So it doesn't matter a ton if this is nice and even, but you know, do your best. Don't be totally careless, but don't over fuss. Perimeter. Okay. Here we go. Now, the last thing I'm really going to stress about right now is those creases. So I'm going to make sure that I have stretched that fabric and gotten it to lie down into the creases in both directions. So right here and here, and then I'm going to flip it over and make sure I've done the same thing on the other side. This is a bone folder. Most of you might already know what a bone folder is. If you're new to this kind of thing, you might not know what it is, and you might not have one, and it doesn't matter. Use anything you can. In fact, I'll turn it over and show you. It doesn't matter. You can use the edge of your scissor. So I'll use the edge of my scissor and do the exact same thing. You might say, then why have a bone folder if it's not necessary? Well, I have a couple of them. First of all, they come with other tools. So sometimes you get them that way. If you have a scoreboard or that kind of thing, you might get one. Or a envelope punch, you might get one. And also, if you do a lot of burnishing and stuff like this that I'm doing right now, then you don't get glue on your scissors. Does it really matter? No, because the glue comes right off this and comes right off your scissors. So don't stress. I've said that a lot today. Don't stress. I wonder if I'm feeling very stressed. and I'm trying to get it through my own head. I'm a little stressed, but it's just not ridiculously. Okay. There we go. We've got ourselves a book cover, and I am going to recommend to you that you do the same thing I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to write front, top, back, top, because it's going to matter in just a few minutes. Here's a template that I made for myself. We're only going to be doing 2 signatures in this journal. So in this template that I've made, I know that I'm going to be using those greenish teal-ish lines and not the blue ones. Whoops, look, and I didn't put my T on the top. That's a T for top. Turn it the other way. This matters when you're doing the punching holes to get ready for your signatures and get your spine ready. because things don't always line up perfectly identical, each layer that you do of your work, you'll find little differences in a journal and your book won't line up properly. It's ridiculous how much just the tiniest difference in what you do can make. I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch in this journal just because it's a super easy stitch. It's plenty to hold a journal together. The glue's getting dry. The glue's getting dry. Yeah, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Nice and easy. Nothing fancy. And we just don't need anything fancy going on right now. We'll get fancy later. Alright, there we go. We've got a book cover. And it is punched and ready to go. I'm going to set it to the side to dry a bit because we're kind of abusing it right now. Poor thing. And we're going to have to look at signatures for this journal now. So here's the tags and ephemera and what have you that I cut out. Let's set that aside. We don't need that yet. And here's some extra bits I grabbed from my own papers. And here is the journal pages. Uh-oh. That must be a paper, not a page. So maybe these are all pages. What do we have here? Paper, 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 paper. Yep. All papers. I got a couple extras of this. This is a faded, here, this is this page right here, faded. And I got a few extra because it was a misprint. That's how we got our journal cover. I used the misprints to put the journal cover base together. So, we're going to separate these out into 2 different signatures. Let's put a kitty in each signature. There's an owl and a squirrel. We'll put another critter in each one. So, I didn't mention it earlier. I should have. But if you haven't noticed, this is all full of critters and coffee. It's adorable. It's adorable. Let's put, oh, I already have 2 blanket over here, 1 over here. Okay, 2. Let's put a pretend bunny over there, and a birdie over there, and a doggy over there. Oh, where was that other owl? You won't put the 2 owls in the same one. Cat, squirrel, owl. Okay, so, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that turned out ridiculously lopsided. I think we're going to put the puppy over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 and 5. That's better. So, we have 4 pages over here and 5 over here. We need another one over there to make them even Steven, and I think I'm going to make it this right here. So I made these flip out folder deals quite a while ago. I don't know what we'll turn this into in the journal itself, but we'll add that. And then these scraps I just put with it so that I can do matching bits in the journal. I'll put this over with the stuff, the ephemera pile. Then we'll divide these in 2 piles. Since this has got a scrapbook paper page bit, I'll put this over here. Then they will both need, these are 2 different packing paper bits. Oh, that's a 2-page one though. I don't know that we're going to have way too many pages now. No, we won't, because that'll be 2 pages over there, and then this can be over here. I think we're even Steven now. So, first thing I think I want to do is figure out what order to put these in. I think less talk, more coffee to start the signature is adorable. And I really like adorable. Since these are already folded, I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute. They said I could be anything, so I decided to be caffeinated. I like that. I don't like the order I'm putting these in, though. Alright, let's put it like that and see what I think. I'm going to stack these up and fold them in half all at once. In all likelihood, these will need to be trimmed because when you fold the papers, they push each other out, right? The outside ones need to be longer than the inside ones. So you get a little out of whack once you start folding. But that's getting there. And then what about this signature? I like this cool dude. He looks so relaxed. Kind of like a wise owl to start with. That's kind of cool. What if we do that? Okay, I'm going to have to fold this one separate. It's going to wreck the other ones because it's just too different in size. All right. There we go. All right, fold that. Fold this in half. Shove it in there somewhere. This is going to have to go in there somewhere. Let's put things a bit staggered. I kind of like this. I kind of like this paper by the dog. I want to go here. I'm thinking I might do this little turn this into a pocket by the dog. And turn this into a flip out page. Because those are always fun. And then I thought this one was going to be the center. Let's take a look. Like this. Okay, I think I like that one so far. And what about this one over here? We got a squirrel and an owl and some coffee. I got these two pages right here. I actually want them right here, I think. Come on. You can do it, lady. Here we go. Let's see what's in the center here. Ooh, a nice big open page. Does that mean this should go here? I sure don't like that. So I think no. Could it go? Oh, I would cover up the kitty if I did that. That's unacceptable. I could cover up a coffee because I could put that back on. So that could go there and flip out on this side. No. Gosh, I'm not liking that either. Could this go here and open? Be a little surprised. Show how the kitty, what the kitty's pawing at. Oh, look, the kitty's pawing at the butterfly. Hi, butterfly. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. I don't know if I love it. I think I might try somewhere else first and see what I'm thinking. You know what? These packing papers are really flimsy. So what if I did it around the packing pages? Just to add some stability. Let's try that. So if this is a signature, we turn the page, then have a thing, then have these two. Like that. I think I'm going to split these up. I'm going to put this in with the kitty. Alright, one more try and then we have to move on because I can't sit and second guess page placement all day long. Well, I mean I could because it's me, but I shouldn't. So, we've got squirrel, owl. Fun little pocket thingy. Packing paper. Coffee. More coffee with a bunny. Packing paper. I like the packing paper with this. That was a good move. I like having the center open. You know what? I like it. I'm going to keep it. Is this upside down? No. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to keep it. Let's just do a double check with the other signature and make sure I'm happy with that one as well, and we don't have to do any page swapping. I mean, if there's unless there's a glaring flaw or you know, pattern or colored thing that just clearly does not work and you don't understand how you might fix it, then you really don't need to change anything, right? So that's all I'm looking for here, is anything that is distinctly not gonna work. I love this because I think tucking a tag in here next to the puppy might be good. Oh goodness, excuse me. Kitty and a bird. This yellow kind of goes with the yellows that are in the kit, but not entirely, so I might have to do some altering with this yellow. Not sure what I'm going to do with this folder yet. Decisions do not need to be made right away. And then this is going to be a flip out thingy. And I love it with this. So I'm happy with that. Yep, I think that's good. Now I'm going to trim these quick. I'm going to push them together as tight as they will go. And actually clamp them. You know what? Let's clamp them while I trim. What I'd really like to do is trim by tearing, because I think this would look super cute with torn edges. But in the name of saving time, I'm just going to take a ruler and my blade thingy. I can't see it. My soda's in the way. And a quick go like this. We're speed journaling today. Or speed creating, really, because we're not journaling, are we? We're creating a journal. Speed creation. That is not the best trimming, but we'll take it. Do the same thing up here, only for this extra large page. I could have folded it in. I could have created stuff with it. Again, in the name of hurrying, I'm just not gonna overthink. So there is a very little of my own creative power going into this journal. So much of the creation was already done by Darcy when she made this thing. So if you feel like you're just not creative enough, you could never think of this stuff, get yourself a freebie. Give it a try. Get started. It just may jumpstart your brain into really good ideas, and you'll find you're more creative than you thought you were. So you're going to get to see how, you know, taking advantage of freebies can really get you going. You might be off onto a craft situation that you didn't even know you needed. Also, you know what? If you don't, I always think people should be doing art and creation of some type. So that's always my thought, is that you'll do it too. Even if you don't, you just want to assemble a journal for yourself and start taking up journaling, or add to your collection of journals or whatever. Look how nice these can come together, and look, and what fun, and how cute. Like all the things, right? Multiple reasons and ways to use digitals and freebies and whatever paper you have. I mean, certainly one of the other ways is the junk journals that I'm making on my Monday releases. The one I'm doing right now, the 100% junk, you don't need any digitals or papers or anything. You just need to save your garbage, junk mail, and stovetop stuffing box. Okay, right now I am going to create the holes in the signatures so we can sew the signatures into our journal. I'm just going to eyeball basically a center. I'm trying to, goodness sakes, words. I'm trying to center this thing as best I can on the signature, and then I'm going to hold it at an angle, because if you just do it flat or whatever, it's more likely to get wonky when you sew it in. It's me, so I get things wonky on a regular basis, even when I do my best efforts. So we'll see what happens, but best practices are to hold it at an angle, a nice V of some sort. Same thing on the back one. Center it as best I can. Push these papers together. This this is a good place to use a clamp or a paper clip or something to hold these in place too. I'm kind of being neglectful by not doing that. You know, taking some risk here. Got a V there. There we go. One more. Okay, should be good. We'll see in a minute. I've got a rather dull needle with a pretty fat eye, so it will hopefully be fairly easy to thread. And I have chosen a dark teal. Doesn't exactly go with this journal, but I mean, yeah, it does. Making it approximately 3 times the height of the book. That's just to make sure that you have plenty of thread, you don't run out, and you have enough to comfortably tie the knot and all that stuff. This is actually overkill. You don't need this much by any means, hardly ever. Okay, so we're gonna sew these in just a second, but I forgot something. Where is it? Where, oh where did my other part go? I am going to hit the pause button because I've lost something. I'll be right back. Oh, I have glue all over. I'm gonna be right back anyway. All right, here it is. I'm going to put also all around the spine this blue ribbon. So I'll do it actually the same as the fabric went, right? So it'll start right here, then I'll wrap it around to the outside without gluing it. I'm going to glue it on the inside, not glue it on the outside, and then glue the ending as well. That'll make more sense as I do it, if it didn't make sense while I was saying it. So, bunches of glue in here. Push that right into it without stretching it. Sometimes I get a little too aggressive with trying to get the lace in the glue, and then I stretch the lace, and then when it releases, because it's, you know, pulling against the glue, it will release and it will make a big fat mess. I'm not going to glue the outside, so I'm just pulling it straight down. Again, I want it flat, so I want it slightly pulled but not stretched. I don't want it to buckle the book. I don't want it to pull out of the glue. Don't stretch your lace unless it's stretched lace and you want it that way. Tip of the day. Okay. Push that into the glue, and then at the end here, I'm just going to add the liquid glue. Give it a nice secure wrap around here. Now, I have just made my life pretty darn difficult because I can no longer see the holes for lining up the signature. I'll show you how to figure that out in case you ever, you know, do something like this and it's hard to see through lace anyway. Like, even if I had put the lace on there beforehand and then did the punching the signature holes, it wouldn't really matter that much. It's hard to see through lace no matter what you do. So I'll show you how to create a guide for yourself as soon as we get going here. Sometimes I will start sewing on the outside if I want dangles on the outside of the journal. but I don't like dingles on the outside of a journal. Unless they're at the top. And since I'm doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, that's not what the way that's not where the tie will end up. So I'm not gonna do that right now. Oh, there's what I want. So I can't see the center of the first signature, and I've decided that the one with the owl on is gonna be the first signature. So what I'm gonna do, I will put this back on there just because it can help me remember about where I'm trying to find the hole. Whoops. Yeah, this was not a good idea. Shoot, shoot, shoot. There we go. I'm going to cheat a little bit. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to go around the lace and do that. There we go. Yay. One of the benefits of not gluing it down on the front. Look what I've done though. I've made it super loose now. Here's what I wanted to show you. Find a way, like I just did, to kind of desperately, find a way to get a different pointy object through the hole that you can't see. In this case, it's all of them. Then, just before you put the sewing needle through, pull that out. Pull the whole placeholder out and put the sewing needle through, and you can go ahead and pull that through. It works. It works. It doesn't work great in this instant because I am doing it through lace that has just been glued down, and I'm loosening up my own design that I said don't do this because it will loosen your design. It is popping apart because I'm working on it before it's dry. And because I'm stretching it by sewing it. Didn't you hear me say don't? Don't stretch your lace because it will pop off of the design and then it won't be a nice fit. I said that and then I did that. That should help right there. That stitch. Whoops, my hands are all full of glue now. I'm gluing myself to the signature. The papers are all coming apart. Good grief. You'd think I'd never done this before. I swear I've done this before. I swear I know a little bit what I'm doing. Really. A little bit, at least. Okay, let's go through the book, through the signature, make sure the folder gets on there. So we went out through the center hole in the signature. We're going back in to the book through the bottom, and then we're going back out through the top. I might have to finagle finding that guide hole again because Yeah, I'm going to finagle finding that guide hole again because I'm just not running into it. This is not nearly as complicated as I'm making it seem. I promise you. I have made questionable design choices this evening for trying to show a simple way to do this. Okay, so there's my guide. I'm going to put the needle close to where I want it. No, that didn't work out very well, but I did find the right spot, so that's okay. And then, lastly, you go back into the book through the center. Once I've done this, all of this lace should be anchored in place and lay down better. If it doesn't, and well, okay, it should, but it looks like it's not going to. So I am going to finagle that too. Lots and lots of finagling. When you get to this part, do you see how the needle and the first thread are on the same side of the center thread? You want them to be on opposite sides of the center thread. So I'm going to take that piece and make sure that the needle comes out on the opposite side of the starter piece. That way you have something to tie around. It makes your knot very strong. It makes your signature very secure. Let's check on the outside, make sure that's down right. It is. It is in fact, but I got a buckle in my lace. Not good. Oh, you can't see it right there. I will have to figure out how to fix that, but I already have ideas. I will fix it. It'll be fine. Probably. Alright, a nice double knot is really all you need, and I'm going to leave these strings because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I'm probably going to end up just cutting them off and making a little tassel with them, but I don't know. I might get more creative. How much are we on time? Oh my gosh, I haven't even gotten close to where I wanted on this Friday freebie feature, and I'm already over an hour. Okay, let's just sew in the other signature quick, and then I will work on some more stuff before next week, and maybe at the beginning of next week's Friday freebie feature, I will show you how this one ended up. Possibly this is a continuation. If there's a lot more to do, maybe I'll just do a week 2. All right. Ow. If I had known how a pain in the behinder this was going to be, I would have made better choices, or let this dry. Letting this dry before I putting the lace on and letting it dry before I did the punching the holes for the signature would have made way more sense. Where is the center? There is the center. Okay. Out through the bottom, or out through the middle, in through the bottom, actually. Let's find where that spot is, and it's right here. Oh, come on. Now I'm acting like I don't even know how to push a needle through lace. Let's not be ridiculous here. Alright, there we go. There we go. There we go. Oops, I lost some of the pages. Get back over here, kids. Looks like I missed that all completely. This little folder thingy looks like it's only going to be sewn on in 2 places, which might make it a little insecure, which means I might have to remedy that at some point. It's not a huge concern. 2 points of tacking this down might be plenty. But if it proves to be weak after I've gotten this all together, I will show you how to fix that. It's actually not, it's not a tragedy. It is a reason why you want to make sure all of your pieces are as centered as they can be, though, because if you miss some of the smaller ones and they only get tacked in by 1 passing of the thread, you're probably going to have a bit of a problem. Let's see where this top one is. It's right there. It's right there. Now I'm off screen. I'm sorry. I'll come back on in just a sec. Sorry about that. I seem to be a little less than coordinated today, don't I? Not entirely sure what I mean by today. I think I'm always a little less than coordinated. That's alright. I get the job done eventually, right? Okay. Last spot, we'll tie this knot, we'll call it quits for today. And one way or another, you will see this journal again next week. Either with another new freebie, or just an extension of this freebie. Who knows? It'll be a surprise. Alright, there we go. There we go. Let's get this all tied up. Looks like I'll have a few fixes I need to do with the lace because I didn't let it dry. If you do the same kind of idea, make sure that you let stuff dry before you sew things together, because look what I've got. I've got buckles. This is not going to be terribly difficult to fix, I don't think. But I would rather it didn't happen in the first place, and I could have avoided it had I been a little more patient. Okay, here is our journal so far. There's the cover. Ooh, pretty. It opens flat, which is one of the reasons I like this particular kind of journal cover. Owl, doggy, coffee. I heart coffee too. Kitten and bird. yellow introduction. Nice center. So while I'm flipping through our journal so far, I will remind you that this is a freebie from Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. All the information, if you wish to find this very digital, will be in the description box. You can't always get the same Friday freebies that I show on this channel. Sometimes they expire, sometimes they change, sometimes they're only available on a particular Friday, and then the next Friday that one's gone and never comes back ever. But you will get a fabulous new one. Depends on the provider and how they manage their files, right? So you can get this very same one. Sign up for Darcy's email. Go check out her Ko-Fi account, and you will find this and a few other freebies in there, as well as some lovely digitals, should you care to buy some of the digitals. All right, there we go. Gosh, it's looking cute already, people. Coffees and Critters. This week's Friday freebie feature. I'll see you again next week. Check out Darcy's stuff. Bye.